AM. MOM Radio and the Pipe Bomb Radio Network present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE superstars and two men that are always on a mission, Oscar and Sir Mo.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Not Your Mama's Radio Show. Here are your hosts for tonight, Oscar, Sir Mo, and I believe we are welcoming back Dreamy Mimi.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Everybody's good.
All right,
Everybody's
how you
good.
doing, Felix?
Doing good. Looking forward to tonight's show.
Good. I'm excited.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Welcome
Dreamy.
back.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I am feeling much better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Got the team back together again.
All right, I'm glad that everybody's all together feeling good. Before I do anything else, I want to give a special shout-out to my sister-in-law in the hospital, Helen Moore. Helen, we love you. She's in the hospital. A week from now, she's going to have heart surgery to fix some things that are going on with her heart. So you're listening right now. We wish you and Mike the best. Wish you well. Get better, honey, because you got to throw those darts and keep Michael straight. Go upside his head. We can go upside his head now. He ain't nobody. But anyway, yeah. Tonight, everybody, we have an action-packed show. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the premier international manager. I'm going to call him the internet. I don't hold a candle to this guy when it comes to managers. I think when it comes to Japan wrestling, I think he managed some of everybody in all Japan, New Japan, Old Japan, Is Japan, Ain't Japan, everything at Japan, and even some American guys. Our special featured guest tonight, Sonny Onoo, is going to be our guest. We're going to listen to his stories about being over in Japan, WCW. He actually wrestled what Nelson Frazier Mabel told me was, in his opinion, the greatest wrestler alive in Jushin Thunder Liger. So I can't wait to hear the stories about him and Jushin Liger, who Jushin Liger, even to this day, continues to be a off-the-chart, phenomenal Japanese wrestling talent. Sonny Onoo on live. Also, we have a couple of very huge announcements about what Men on a Mission is going to be doing and Not Your Mama's Radio Show is going to be doing. And we're going to have promoter extraordinaire Renee Baghdad on in the second hour. She's going to come in and she's going to help us blast off this huge news that we got. I mean, things are just moving forward. Second hour, we're also going to talk about the movement we made today with the anti-bullying initiative. We had a huge meeting with that today, so we're going to fill you all in with that news. Dr. Reese called today to talk about the initiative with the support group for the wrestlers and the conferences we're going to have on tour. So, I mean, it's just season. We are just moving forward with all the things that we're doing. It's a real exciting time. It's going to be a real good, informative show. Men on a Mission doing big things.
That's right. Congrats, guys. Congrats. Looking forward to hearing the news.
Sounds good. I do want to iterate. Oscar made the comment in his long, drawn out, opening monologue, how he couldn't hold a candle to Sonny Onoo. Well, Oscar, you can't hold somebody's jockstrap in the business at all. So Holding a candle is a far cry from holding somebody's jockstrap.
I'm sorry, I held your jockstrap for 3 years.
You did, and you did it well holding it over your head. You did it well wearing it over your head. You did. You did
Mimi,
well.
did you really miss this?
I'm still holding your jockstrap.
Believe it or not, Felix, I did.
Keep holding it. I'm glad you holding it. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm holding your jockstrap. I'm still holding it.
How does my sweaty ball smell?
Oh, hell no.
Actually, they smell like heaven, big boy. You want to move a little closer?
Febreze. No. I think 8 hours away is close enough, my friend.
No, it ain't close enough. Well, come closer.
I'm glad you're on the radio though today. I kind of didn't expect you to be here.
What's happened to you, Mimi?
You didn't expect me to be here.
No, I didn't expect Oscar to be here.
Oh, you expect me to be here? That's next week.
No. Oh, okay.
That's next week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Should I go ahead and call Mr. Ono?
Yeah, go ahead and call Mr. Ono.
Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, no, that's next week, you bastard.
You wrong.
I hope this is not an international call. Fruitcake.
Yeah, we have to pay for that one. But yeah, what you referred to, that's next Thursday.
Yeah, so that's next Thursday, you bastard.
Yeah, that's next Thursday.
I got that lady's email today.
Okay, pretty exciting stuff, huh?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. Okay.
I guess I'll get excited once I get a deposit.
You know
I can eat.
You know what? But checking into everything, she is actually. Well, I ain't gonna say that on the air, but I'll say that she is very instrumental in Joe Bruin's FanFest situation. So, I've had a lot of people sing her praises, and everybody tells me that she is really good about doing exactly what she says she's gonna do. So on that vein, it's a real exciting situation. And, David Reese invited us to come to Cauliflower Alley in April. So, yeah, sounds nice. I mean, that's the premier wrestling convention for all the old timers. So you want to get out to Vegas and see those people, that might be a good thing to do. We're going to blow that announcement out about all that other stuff next hour. So, we're going to tell you, we got to tell you all about our meeting this morning and where we moved from there. Everything went positive and everything like that. So we're well on our way. And that was a real impressive letter that you emailed this morning. I got a chance to read it. It really sang your praises and gave it some real credibility.
Hey, guys. Just want to let you know, we do have, I'm bringing him live now, the one and only former WCW manager, Mr. Sonny Onoo.
Mr. Ono, it is and a privilege. How you doing, man?
Doing really good. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Where are you guys? Where are you guys?
I'm in Indiana, Mosen, Tennessee. Where are you?
I'm in Iowa. I was just in Tennessee. I was just in Nashville not that long ago.
Oh, okay. Well, my first thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just saying I'm hanging out in the Memphis, Tennessee area.
Oh, the best strip club in the world is in Memphis.
Oh, wow.
That must be Tiffany's.
The Platinum Plus. I don't know if that's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? That's the best strip club in Memphis?
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is? Our excuse always was this: that when we worked on the road, all the boys wanted to go eat steak, and there's really only two places you can really go eat steak. After because we don't get out of the arena till 11:30, 12 o'clock. Right. So a lot of the hotel restaurants close and all that stuff. So always boys wanted to go eat some high protein, which is steak, and you can go get bed steak I hate to say this, at the Waffle House, or you can go to strip club where they serve real good steak. Along with other things. So that was our excuse always to we got so I can honestly tell you that I've been to a strip club in every state in this country except probably state of Oregon, because they don't let professional wrestling. We don't go there because of the license. You have to actually license like an athlete, so you have to get
Right.
Every person who performs there have to go get physical, which was not possible for a lot of our shows for professional wrestlers.
Right.
So, but yeah, I've been to probably more strip club than man should allow to be.
Yeah, you can always get some protein at the strip club. Always.
That's right. That's right.
You
There's
get
always,
your fill of protein.
Yeah. How many Tiffany's and Mercedes and that I knew that I didn't realize there was only like 7 names you have in strip clubs.
Yeah.
Now, what's the best strip club in Atlanta? Let's see if we agree.
Well, it used to be a Go Club, obviously, and the infamous Go Club. But I think Cheetah is still going on downtown, I think. So, as of right now, probably it's Cheetah.
What about Magic?
What about where?
What about Magic?
I never got around to. I mean, there's a lot of them around, but you asked me what was the best one. Really?
Sonny Onoo ain't going no ghetto strip club.
That
sounds like a dope dealer club, man.
No, I have been to some of the. I couldn't recall the name, but I have been to some of the clubs and outside the perimeter of Atlanta that was pretty damn scary. It was. I had a friend of ours that took us to like you just said, a ghetto a club. I was absolutely intimidated by. I'm generally not intimidated by the ladies, but these ladies were really scary. If they said they didn't ask for a lap dance. They demanded you $20, and they gave you a lap dance.
That sounds like Nene Leach.
Of course, we've been to a club, outside of Atlanta, a few 50, 60 miles outside the perimeter, where you really get into, Stone Mountain, Georgia strip club, which is
but Jesus,
the whole flip side of scary. You know what I mean? It's that's somebody's daughter that the bouncer looks like the dad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can tell you a story about a lot of stuff.
How do they differ over in Japan as opposed to the American clubs?
Well, it's really interesting. In Japan, it's really weird. I mean, if you ever get a chance to go, you should go to a club in Japan. And because it's really low key. The girls are dancing, but it's nothing too crazy. But they do have they do have a strip club, but it's really nothing like the one in the United States. They have a cabaret club and hostess club where women come and sit next to you and tell you what a stud you are, and order drinks and just pad your tabs, that kind of thing. But but you got to remember the culture is a little different. Their culture in general are designed to please men. I hate to say that. I hate to be the sexist. That don't go over well in this country, but nor does it go over well with my wife. But its culture is different. They're a lot of their ladies are trained to please men.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a little different here. So just culture is different. That's why I think a lot of Americans love go to other countries and marry some of them women. But the problem is when you bring them back, like Eddie Murphy said, the first thing they learn is English and half. I own half.
Exactly. Yeah. No more booty goo.
And for education, Sonny Onoo, with many other talents, he's an international strip club connoisseur. Don't be surprised if you see that tomorrow in your Wikipedia. Take us to Japan.
Hey! You guys have to help me out here.
All right.
Here's I want you to back me up on this. You got to remember, if you look at and obviously, WWE 24/7 has a lot of the Nitro on now, so you get to revisit that what we did back in the days. But remember, I am the person who started selfies.
Yes.
Oh, you are.
And I want you guys. So every time you mention my name, I want you to start a campaign that says, "Look, here's a man who's not getting a credit. I'm not getting any credit for it. But there's even a television. There's even a television called Selfies. But I'm the guy who invented it. I shouldn't say invented. A lot of people has taken a picture of themselves, but I'm the first one to ever do it.
He made selfies cool.
Yeah, I was doing it. I was doing it on national television.
I definitely remember that.
So, anyway, I just want you to know if you mention Sonny Onoo from WCW, the man who's the innovator of selfie.
Oh,
innovator selfie. Okay.
Before
I like
WCW, you were out in Japan. Tell us where it started, how it began, who were some of your earlier charges, and give us some of those stories, Sonny, before you even got to WCW.
Well, I got a phone call from my old buddy, Eric Bischoff, who was then the vice president, and he was kind of taking the reign of WCW. And we're a friend from our early years, when we were 20 years old. We were traveling the karate circuit, Professional Karate Association circuits, and USKA circuits, and what we used to do is, we would get together on a weekend and travel around the country to go to a karate tournament, and so we could fight, pay $20, fight, and not go to jail, and just like any young man, when you're at that age, you want to test your skills, how good you are, and the only way to do that is go compete against the best in a region. So we would go to a U.S. Open karate tournament down in Florida, or Top 10 National in Long Beach, California, or Battle of Atlanta, or Empire State Championship in New York, and we would just travel the circuit. So that's how Eric and I knew each other and how we were friends. And Eric called me one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to go to Japan to do some business. Why don't you come with me? Just because I'm bilingual and I'm originally from Tokyo, so." And this, that's how I got into wrestling business, was standing in front of sitting in front of 5 amazing, scariest Japanese men alive. Then was a judo champion, Sakaguchi. You had a Masa Saito, was an Olympic, a wrestler, Choshu. And so, you have these guys, and I was interpreting for Eric as he spoke. And mind you, I have no idea about professional wrestling business. And basically, Eric was there to rekindle the relationship with Japan because he needed some talent for this expanding television show that he was, getting ready to launch with Nitro and of course Thunder and so on. And what happened was, as I'm translating, I'm finding out that the prior management of WCW has taken, upward of $500,000, but they didn't. It was a talent exchange program. They were supposed to send WCW talent to Japan. Well, that didn't happen. So these guys felt like WCW kind of conned them out of $500,000. So, and as I'm translating, now I'm understanding, as I'm translating, I'm understanding that no wonder these guys going to looked like they want to kill us. So, but after about an hour and a half of meeting, we agreed to try the relationship again. And and one of the questions that Masa Saito asked at the end of the meeting was, who is going to be our contact person? Because that was one of our issues, that we could not get a hold of the prior management. And Eric, without hesitating, said, "Oh, that would be Sonny." And I looked at him like, "What? I don't work for you. What are you talking about?" But and that, at that point, I got hired, and as that relationship grew, and we started bringing in the talent, and a lot of things happened. Like Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit. They were all working for New Japan at the time. So they came because of our talent exchange program, and make their talent bigger than life, and and to include a lot of their talent into our program. We ended up signing those guys to WCW, and part of the agreement was that the New Japan get to use all those talent that they have actually cultivated and developed. But those guys came because of that program that Eric initiated at the time, and as the relationship grew, we started bringing in their talent, the Japanese talent, and for more reason than one, I think they're just a great talent. Of course, everybody know who Muda was, a great Muda, and we brought him in. We brought in Chono. We brought in Ultimo Dragon, Kensuke Sasaki, Jushin Thunder Liger, Kanemoto, and that was the beginning of World War III, the pay-per-view when we did the Japan versus U.S. and I got to be the manager. My role grew into on front of the camera as on-camera talent as a manager, because obviously none of the Japanese spoke English. So and I got to play that character of Sonny Onoo, which was great, which was fun. So a lot of those things happen because I can't thank Eric Bischoff enough. Not only is he my friend, and matter of fact, I saw him last weekend at the Legend of Wrestling autograph signing in New Jersey. But he and I think that Eric doesn't get enough credit. And I don't want to sound like I'm kissing his ass, but honestly, I truly believe this when I tell you this, that if he wasn't for the era of Eric Bischoff reign, people can blame him for a lot of things.
Right.
But if he wasn't for that, if he didn't make the WCW beat WWF for so many weeks, and there was that competition, and that competition made wrestling better.
Right.
There was innovating things going on. There was NWO. There was Cruiserweight that we brought in, and there was a Luchador that brought in the Japanese. And made that because we had a 3-hour show, and Thunder. We had to fill those time with not just same old stuff. So we brought in the Bull Nakanos to wrestle, Medusa and Akira Hokuto, and some of the greatest women wrestler, in history.
Right.
Chigusa Nagayo, Cutie Suzuki. Those, and I got, I'm very fortunate that I got to be involved in that. Got to manage those people and professional wrestling experience. Like I said, I can't thank Eric enough. Him and I went to North Korea with Antonio Inoki and Muhammad Ali.
Okay, wow.
Thing I got to do, and I can tell you some story about Scott Norton in North Korea or Steiner brother in North Korea, which is a whole another segment. But a lot of the wrestler was freaking out and saying, "Hey, they took our passport," and my statement was, "Listen, where are you going to go if you had your passport? It's not like you can get on a plane and go somewhere, or get on a train and go home. You know, you got DMZ to the south, and you got communist China to the north. So where you going? You know, behave yourself, and when the time comes, we get to go home.
Right.
and you got to. I tell the guys, I said, just remember, only other American been in this country either been shot down or captured. So you know,
right.
you know, embrace the experience. We're like, it was like going to a. If you can imagine it, the best way I can describe it to you is that going to a Klingon empire. You know, I mean, because everything was strange. You know, everything was cold and gray, and you know, people marched to work every day.
Right.
You know, so but it was a heck of an experience. You know, so I mean, I embraced all that.
Yeah.
So like I said, you know, getting back to where it was, you know, I can't thank him enough. And I think every wrestler who was involved in that period of time, whether they hated Eric or not, if it wasn't for that competition that he created, they wouldn't have gotten the pay that they got.
Well, you know, not only that, it supersedes all that even today, because you know you wouldn't have people like a CM Punk, you know, who gets guaranteed money that could just tell somebody like a Vince McMahon, you know, screw you, I'm going home. Because prior to that, if you went home, your ass was just at home. You wasn't getting no money, because there was no guaranteed contract until Eric started that. So you're exactly right. You know, regardless of all the negative stuff that people say about Eric Bischoff, a lot of people ought to be on their hands and knees thanking Eric Bischoff for setting a new standard in the business.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, the amount of because of competition, you know, people making 7-figure, you know, paydays. You know, I'm not talking about just the top guys. So you know, I remember on the power plant, if you got hired as a developmental talent at power plant, you know, you were guaranteed $70,000 a year just to train to become a wrestler.
Wow.
I mean, you know, that was you know, I mean that's a pretty good payday, you know,
of course.
20 years ago. You know?
Yes.
I mean, when you know, and I mean, just think about it. If you dream to become a professional wrestler and be on television, and you're doing all the work, and you're going to school, paying your dues, and you know, I mean, he really changed all that by discovering people, putting people on a contract to train them to be a professional wrestler at the power plant in Atlanta. You know, prior to that, those guys were bouncing at the strip club. You know, or being a personal trainer at the fitness center. So you know, like I said, you know, I don't want to sound like a, but you know, real kiss ass to Eric. But those are the facts. I mean, if it wasn't for, you know, Eric and him creating with a team, not just himself, but you know, having Ted Turner and having a passionate about wrestling and you know, all that coming together and creating, you know, Nitro and Thunder, and creating that competition. And I, you know, storyline wise or anything that happened during those days of DX to NWO to all those things, I think it was good for, you know, wrestling, for the boys, for the fans because of the storylines. And for the fans, because of all the new wrestler that they got to see from Japan, Mexico, and Puerto Rico, and everywhere else, I think, you know, I'm just fortunate for a lot of things. But I can sit here and tell you that, you know, we were involved in the times when wrestling was at the highest. You know, our combined rating was better than most network shows. You know, so, you know, not for nothing. He may not get the credit, but, you know, I can't thank him enough.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of competition, on November 4th, Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling kicks off their first pay-per-view from Japan. What's your prediction how that's going to go?
Well, you know, the only problem he's got going right now is that since he doesn't have a television, here in the United States. I think that's going to be a little bit of a issue, as not enough people going to. I mean, obviously the hardcore wrestling fan going to want to see it, and I think it's going to be between $24 to $35 or something like that. So it's not going to be, it's not going to be $49.95. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be that expensive. If you can get four guys together, I think people can scratch up $30 to watch a show.
Right.
That it's new and live and hopefully, I saw Jeff a week ago. Actually, I'll tell you a funny, interesting story no one probably knows, that I have probably never said this to anybody else. That when TNA was being formed by Jeff, he actually flew me to Vegas and offered me a job as playing the same kind of role with the international consultant and being on-camera talent. Things were didn't work out right. Timing wasn't. I'm glad, my kids were, and I'm fortunate thing happened the way it happened, because I got to watch four of my children go through, finish out their high school and go through college. So, so I'm very fortunate, because a lot of people miss that, and before you know it, they're gone. So I got to stay here, and but now timing is kind of right, and I spoke with Jeff a little bit, and hopefully that I can help him with his endeavors and his new company. And the fact that his company is called Global, that means he's going to bring in a lot of foreign talent and expose different kind of wrestling from Europe to Asia to even south of the equators. I think that's going to be great, because Tennessee, living in the United States and comfort zone that we live, one of the things about if you travel abroad, and a lot of people hate American, and not because of our government, because we think we're the center of the universe. A lot of people do, and the fact of the matter is, a foreign country people looks at us like, hey, you're just a young guy. You might have a big nuclear sub, and you guys have a big stick. But let's keep in mind that you guys only been around for a couple hundred years. Europe's been around for thousands of years, and of course, and so is so they look at us like kind of like a young punk, and so and we have a tendency to think we carry a big stick, and so if you go. I remember taking some people to Thailand once, and one of the lady that was with me got mad at we had 31 flavor at the ice cream joint, and the girl behind the counter is trying to speak English, and trying to accommodate the person I was with, and she got mad. We're in Thailand. She got mad as God. I can't understand her English, she says. I said, hey, we're not in Nashville. We're we're in their country. They're trying to accommodate you. How about you trying to dig up your book from the phrases from Thailand and try to figure out their language? You know what I mean? So that's a lot of that ugly American thing comes from. But things are changing. I think people are getting educated a little bit. But getting off the subject a little bit. But I think that's going to be great. I think when Jeff brings his stuff in, a show, certainly. More wrestling than theater. I think it's going to be great.
Right. No, okay. No, that's fantastic. Yes, for Jeff to bring in wrestling leads me to my next obvious question. Have you been following the WWE product today? And I ask everybody, what do you think?
Well, I never worked there, so a lot of my friends have. From Ultimo Dragon to many of the Japanese talent, and obviously I stay in close contact with people from New Japan, Yuji Nagata and Kaz Hayashi, who is a booker now for Wrestle One, whose TNA is actually doing a pay-per-view in October, I think the 12th, Bound for Glory pay-per-view out of Japan, I think, and so I keep kind of keeping track of that stuff. Only thing I know, I don't really follow WWE. I know that they made the news when Jimmy Hart and great friend, Jimmy, and Hulk went over to Japan to promote WWE, and they signed Kenta, which was one of the great top Japanese wrestling star, and signed him to a WWE contract. And I think that he made I don't know how they're gonna use him. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a big star in Japan. Makes sense business wise to use him right, because obviously WWE is global now, so it's very important. Right. That, like Great Khali, who's India. In India, he's like God. He can't even walk the street.
Right.
So it's important to use those guys, and I was kind of disappointed that they changed his name to Hideo something. Yeah.
Hideo Itami.
I don't quite understand why that was done, like I said, I'm not questioning it, but except the fact that as a Japanese fan, you go, wow, why did they do that? Well,
they have this thing about controlling the licensing on a name.
Right. I understand all that, but still, I mean, why?
Yeah, they have this thing about that control, and they if they can get away with it, they'll get away with it. Just with some people, like Sting, for example, you're not going to change my name no matter what you do. You're not going to get control over it.
Well, that's why I was always Sonny Onoo.
Yeah, no matter what you do, what I mean? You're not going to get control over it. So, but they just have this thing about when it comes to their so-called intellectual properties, they don't want anybody to have any say-so over it.
Well, he has to give you some control, because he can't promote himself, as Hideo Itami once he leaves the company. So and I certainly understand that part, but still, for Kenta to be known and be so famous in Japan and not utilize that is, to me, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
And one of the problems that Eric was great at was that he knew all this. You take a Masa Saito, or one of the great Japanese talent. Even he could not do interviews, and so that so I got to play that little mouthpiece for these guys. Jushin Thunder Liger, what a great talent! He's probably one of the best cruiserweight in the world. And once again, because what we do here is over there, it's a lot like a fight. You're promoting a fight. You know what I mean? So storyline, aside from what's obvious, doesn't have to develop as it is here. Here it's all about creating a storyline. It's more more theater than for the payoff to create an interest. Over there it's different. So even guys who's well known as Masa Saito needed some kind of mouthpiece, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. And so I don't know how they're going to use him, and I don't know who's going to be his mouthpiece for him. At a certain point in time, he's going to have to do interviews, and so it'd be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
Because other Japanese talent who've been there has not been too successful.
Right. I think the only one that came close that had some level of success probably was maybe Hakushi, maybe.
Exactly. That's exactly the thing I was thinking about. Yeah, Hakushi actually made. I think he made an impact, and I think everybody remember who he is. And,
and they did, and what's her name? She was successful because they didn't drag her through the mud. Bull Nakano was successful for her time being there. For the time that she was there, she was successful. I think those two, for the time that they were there, they were successful. Everybody else just didn't seem to rise to that level of success.
I don't think because they use writers, and we use writers, so it's very difficult for them. Look, for them to write a storyline, and this is basically how it goes. If you're a foreigner, you're a natural heel, obviously, but you can't just play on that. especially in television today. And let me say this to you: it's very difficult for somebody to write about something they never experienced.
Right.
You know. So if I'm writing a show about horse jockey, how am I going to write about horse jockey? I never, I don't,
Right.
Yeah, I don't know a thing about it. So, so not to be disrespectful for the writers, but you really need to know the subject, right? Or at least study the subject, or at least immerse yourself in the subject. And I think that's the problem. I'm sure they got a lot of stuff going on and a lot of storyline going on, and it's hard to intertwine that if you don't have experience in the material you have on hand, meaning the wrestler you have on hand.
Well, then I think what they need to do, is with their writers or with a writer, one writer, when they know in advance that they're getting ready to sign, a talent from Japan or Mexico or somewhere, they go to this particular writer and say, hey, look, in the next few months we're going to have this talent come in. This is the name that he's working under right now. You need to study his films so you can write for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I guarantee that
or
nobody's
know
doing
something
that.
about the culture, where he comes from, what he do, what is his background, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If we don't know about the guy, we don't care about the guy.
Right.
And that's usually the problem. One of the things that we were just discussing the other day, I was talking to Buff Bagwell. One of the things that WCW innovatively changed thing was gave everybody an entrance. WCW started doing that because if you and I are a fan of watching television, and because of sake of time, you remember they used to have the jobber guys always in the ring already.
Yes.
So smart guys like you and I, we already knew who we were going to win.
Right.
The guy who had the entrance, right?
Right.
So, and another thing about WCW did it pretty innovatively. It was kind of, it was quite with little argument from the bookers. One of the things that Eric did was he gave him finishers. A lot of time he wasn't a DQ. When the top two talent, had a match, he gave him 1, 2, 3. He wasn't. That many times that wasn't done till WCW started doing that. So
gotcha.
I think he made the television, whether whether a lot of people know about it or not. I think he changed things, and because of that period of time, I think wrestling gotten better. But even then, like I said, if you're a wrestler and you're already in the ring and other guys getting introduced, fan already knows, and that's not what you want.
Right.
So.
Right.
Anyway, those are my little tidbits.
Now, with the launch of the WWE Network and the tons and tons of WCW content they have and they're showing, do you personally find that giving you more visibility to today's fans, and is it helping you out?
Yeah, I can certainly feel the impact. I mean, obviously, I get a fan mail. Used to get one about once a week, and now I get half a dozen to dozen a week for autograph and that type of thing. And we get obviously we get invited now that we're getting more exposure. So we're getting invited to. I did a show in North Carolina last weekend, and I was involved in the championship match and got to work with Buff Bagwell again. So and a week before that, I was at the Legend autograph signing in New Jersey and stuff like that. So it does get the best part is because of the old content being shown to the new generation of wrestling fans. That what's great is that the little guys, even my son, who's 18 years old, who wrestled for Warburg College. You know, he doesn't remember me on television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you got coming up? Where can we find Sonny Onoo? What's coming up?
I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You can hit me up there. And I'm not that big on social media, but I'm usually on a Facebook. So if you wanna, if you wanna find out where I'm at or where I'm going or what I'm doing, you can usually find me on a Facebook. And it's Sonny Onoo, and so it's pretty easy to find. I don't think there's too many of us around. So
any upcoming appearances?
Yeah, I'm like I was telling you just earlier that my son who wrestles, who was a state champion in the state of Iowa, 126 pound last year, went undefeated, and got recruited to wrestle for Warburg College, which is the D3 school. He's studying media communication, and he's going to be hopefully make the team and wrestling NCAA. So I'm going to be manage him for from the distance now because he's in college.
That's pretty cool.
Hopefully next 4 years, and hope he can make the All-American and hoping for him to become a national champion.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome deal. Do you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Go ahead.
Yeah, it does. Do you? You mentioned having a friend that's a booker at 01. There's a lot of young talent out here that just don't have those connections. Have you at any point been like a bridge to help some of those guys, or could you?
Yeah, well, I have done that before. Made connections and try to get them to go over there for tryout. Matter of fact, actually, last year, New Japan actually had a talent search kind of thing here in the United States a couple of times at a couple of different places. I think one was down in Texas, and the other one was in New York.
Yeah, one was in Houston. Yeah.
So I let kind of people know about stuff like that, and if you have I can forward the films and that kind of thing, and if you wanna take a kind of working vacation to Japan, I can certainly have him get in contact with their dojos and stuff.
Okay.
So I can help him with a little bit of that, but I still do international business. I still do some of those. Not necessarily in wrestling, but
gotcha.
But usually in television and fight games. Some of them, so it's interesting, and I get to do it, and it's a lot of fun. I don't want to work too hard, but at the same time, it's because like I said, I get to enjoy watching my boy wrestle. So.
I got you. Would it be okay, Sonny, if when the radio program is over with, if I get with Felix and get your number to try to facilitate getting a couple guys over in Japan?
Yeah, they can. Like I said, they can.
Friends that have, they've been looked at by WWE a few times. I mean, we're not talking about guys at 6'4", 300 pounds. We're talking about 6 foot, 230, 240, but have 14, 15 years in the business, have a lot of talent, but just can't get an opportunity. Right.
No, there's a lot of great talent out there that never get to see the light of day.
Right.
Matter of fact, I will tell you, I was with Scott Hall's son this weekend. And he's actually going to Japan. He's going to go work and he's going to go spend some time in New Japan dojo just to get him seasoned and get better and get bigger and do all those things. Learn more about the business. And so So there's a stuff. I think business in Japan's on an upswing. I think so that there is a few opportunities for great talent to be able to go over there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna definitely ask Felix for your number, so I can get in contact with you and just to get some general information on how to go about getting these guys over there to the dojo and give them a chance to get looked at. I mean,
yep.
Hey, Oscar.
Yes.
You had mentioned something about Sonny and working with Nelson too. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah. No, I was saying that Nelson said that I asked Nelson one time who the greatest wrestler of all time in his opinion was, and he said it was Jushin Thunder Liger, and that just came to mind when I was reading about Sonny today that he actually managed and worked with Jushin, extensively. So I just wanted to, just make that contrast and that comment. And it's just, it's just an honor to talk to you, man. I mean, knowing your accomplishments. I used to look at you on WCW, and you used to crack me up. I mean, I used to actually, you were one of the managers that I used to have to learn from. I mean, at the time, we wasn't really supposed to be watching WCW, let alone talking about it, let alone associated with it. But I used to watch, Monday Nitro just to kind of compare notes and see what was happening. And when I saw you, your whole swagger just had me rolling. So, I learned a few things. So
I appreciate it. And you know what? I had fun doing it, and I'm very appreciative of the opportunity I had. And one of the greatest things I will leave you with a lot of this is that the friendship I made, like Ernest Miller, who was a martial artist and a legitimate 3 times world karate champion. We talk to each other probably every other day.
Right. Wow.
So we stay in touch. Ultimo Dragon, who's right now, he's freelance, but he works with so many different companies all over the world. Right now, as we speak, he's in Cuba, probably having dinner with, likely he's having dinner with Fidel Castro's son. He's a real good friend with him. The man is absolutely something else. I stay in touch with Masa Saito, although he's no longer in business. But he has a little bit of sickness, and he's a little bit sick. But he's not the man he was. But we still stay in touch. Kaz Hayashi, whenever I go to Japan, I see him. Yuji Nagata, he is with New Japan. So I stay in touch with all those guys, and it's really nice that the friendship I made 12, 13 years ago, and we stay in touch with all those guys, and it's amazing a family kind of thing, because they were my other family on the road,
right.
Because when you spend 200, 300 days a year on the road, those guys become you part of your family. So
of course.
It's quite the business. I can tell you that, and I'm so glad that I got to experience it.
Well, Sonny, this has been a pleasure and an honor. Next time we're gonna get a few more cats on, and we're gonna put you in a debate about what is the greatest strip club in America. I'm sure you're gonna really get in on that. Thanks for coming on Not Your Mama's radio show. Men on a Mission, really appreciate you being here, and Godspeed and God bless you. Everything you do. I'm kind of hoping we actually run into you at one of these conventions coming up between 2014, 2015. But I want you to take care of yourself, and we're gonna be praying for your son with everything he's doing, and God bless you, man. And thank you.
You'll be here
like
for me, sir.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I just want you to. I'm going to leave you with this. Just make sure when you mention my name that I am an innovator of selfie.
All right.
Introduce me as innovator of selfie. I try to work on that campaign.
I'm going to get a T-shirt.
All right. Thanks,
I'm going to get a T-shirt. Take care, bro.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, Felix, we're getting ready to record a brand new commercial I put together, then we're going straight into the WWE report.
All right. Oh, are you doing it now, or did you want to go ahead and play the commercials?
No, I'm going to do the commercial now. You got to record it because it's going to be a commercial we're going to use.
Okay, I'm going to be playing some commercials now. I'm sorry, I'm totally misunderstanding your point.
You can play a couple commercials, but I'm actually going to do a new commercial now, live on the air.
Oh, you know what? Then let's do that first, and then I'll go into the other commercials.
All right, we ready?
Go for it.
All right. Okay, this is Dreamy Mimi, and I want y'all to listen to my WWE report every week on Not Your Mama's radio show. I come on every week, about 9 o'clock or whenever they get it together, because you know how guys are. Not Your Mama's radio show. When you hear me relating to Oscar, sometimes when he gets to talking crazy, I either ignore him or I say, whatever, man. But it is Not Your Mama's radio show, because your mama don't need to know everything going on up in here. My mama actually loved Oscar. My daddy, not so much. I think he would have hit him in the head with a tire iron. But that's another story. But every week, Dreamy Mimi, Not Your Mama's radio show, the WWE report. Okay, that's it.
That was hilarious. Okay, we're going to commercial.
You ought to get slapped for that. You ought to get slapped for that.
I woke up and I had crappy feet. Now I do have happy feet. I woke up, my gout had me yelling and screaming, got on the phone and called Dr. Freeman. Called Dr. Freeman and I went there, straight to free men foot care. I got an exam, I got my meds, now I don't have to sleep standing on my head. I got my exam and they were enhanced, and now I can walk, run, and even dance. Got my care, 'cause I went there, my feet got fixed, the Freeman foot care.
Worry. Well, so how many high school boys does it take to change a light bulb? Put a light up your light? Yeah! Never know Slim Jim. Turn of the spice. Baby, do the same. Need a little excitement? Step into a Slim Jim. Man, these new WWF figures, they got real wrestling action. In our man shows, everybody's got a price. The American Dream will put you to sleep, and Hacksaw's gonna cut you down. Ooh, he'll pay for that. Let's watch Hogan with my new Macho Master. Man, Hulkster's gonna put the squeeze on you, and now you're taking the ultimate punishment. That's it, buddy! Homegrown, all of ya! New WWF figures so close to the real thing, like being in the ring.
Welcome back to Not Your Mama's radio show, and back to your hosts, of course, Oscar, Dreamy Mimi, and Sir Mo. Hope you guys enjoyed the commercials.
All right, the WWE report, and here she is, Steamy, Dreamy Mimi.
Big Show causes international incident, gators, bulls, and bunnies. This is your WWE report for the week of September 28th, 2014. Not Your Mama's radio show was at Raw live this week and witnessed what was a mediocre outing at best. The Divas division struggled as an undefined rivalry between Brie and Nikki Bella took an unusual turn. As Brie came out for a match against Nikki, it would be Cameron and Eva Marie in a handicap match against her instead. Although the deck was clearly stacked against her, Brie managed to come out on top. With recent losses to Rusev, Mark Henry seemed to be going through a depression of sorts. With his head clearly not in the game, he suffered a loss to none other than Bo Dallas. Even with this victory, I am still not a believer. The team of Titus O'Neil and Heath Slater, now dubbing themselves as Slater Gator, went up against Los Matadores, with a surprise guest, a mini alligator, who turned out to be none other than Hornswoggle. With an ongoing rivalry with El Torito, the two went at it again. I guess we need something to keep the kids entertained. Slater Gator, however, would pull out the victory. At commentary during this farce was Adam Rose and all his party people, including, you guessed it, the Bunny. The powerhouse Rusev and his lady Lana appeared in the ring with the usual anti-American rhetoric. But it would be the Big Show to shut it all down. Ripping the Russian flag down from its perch, the WWE later issued an apology for what seemed to have truly offended the Russian people. But how does this differ from the garbage spewed out of the mouth of Lana and Rusev, putting down our president and glorifying Vladimir Putin? The rumor is that after his feud with Big Show, he will move on to a title run with Sheamus for the U.S. title. U.S. title and Rusev? If this were to occur, the heat would be unbearable. In tag team competition, it was John Cena and Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton and Corporate Kane. The end result left Cena and Ambrose laid out with an assist from Seth Rollins and the notorious Money in the Bank briefcase. The crowd gave a much-deserved standing ovation to the immortal Hulk Hogan in Chicago as he came out to support the Susan G. Komen Courage Conquer Cure, saying everyone should support the cause and purchase the Courage Conquer Cure merchandise. Proceeds go toward finding a cure for breast cancer. Rumor has it Chris Jericho will make his return to the ring at the WWE European Tour this November. I'm sure the Jerichoholics are pleased at this news. Former WWE star Awesome Kong, a.k.a. Karma, will soon be making a return to the ring in TNA. Her size, strength, and wrestling ability is what the women's division in wrestling as a whole needs. Now, too bad she's not going to WWE to shake up the Divas division. And finally, Jeff Jarrett and his Global Force Wrestling Federation will make their pay-per-view debut January 4th, 2015, from Japan. It will be interesting to see the talent roster and can they compete with TNA and or WWE. This WWE report was brought to you by Freeman Foot Care of Gary, Indiana. I'm Dreamy Mimi for Not Your Mama's Radio Show.
Well, thank you, Dreamy. That was a very good report as usual, and you are a lovely, lovely, lovely reporter. All right, now for the big news, the big announcement. All right.
Wait a minute. Hold on, man. Slow down. Wait a minute. Let's talk about this report for a minute before you get to that.
Well,
okay.
Whoa. We're going to talk about the report, but when we talk wrestling, our other guest that's on now, we were going to include her in the conversation. But
I'll bring her on now, guys. I'm going to bring on Miss Baghdad right now. She's live with you guys now, on air, guys.
Okay.
All right, now. In March 6th, 7th, and 8th, in Quincy, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston, Fan for Life Wrestling has signed Mo and Oscar, Men on a Mission, to be at the Pro Wrestling Marathon Convention. It is 3 days, 4 events of wrestling, autograph signings, and everything else. Also, June 27th, in Providence, Rhode Island, at the Providence Convention Center, Fan Fest is coming back. Joe Bruin's Masterstroke, his Fan Fest, New England Fan Fest is coming back, and the same organization, Fan for Life, is bringing in Men on a Mission for that as well. And the person responsible for this, and probably more, you're going to see us, Renee Baghdad, the ultimate Fan for Life. Hello, Renee.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, dear. How are you?
Just fine, thank you.
That's good. Now, you are, I'm just finding out about you, and you are like the super promoter. How did you get into all of this? How long you been doing it, and what drives you? Tell us all about it.
Well, I've actually been in the business about 9 years now. I started out doing vending. I mean, it goes back way further than that. I started out as a young kid. My father would take me to wrestling events in Ottawa, Canada, and I just got hooked. I met Andre the Giant at age 6, and that was it for me. I've been hooked ever since.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, me and Andre the Giant's gonna hook. It's gonna hook anybody. All right, so you've been doing this worldwide or just in the country, Canada? Where have you hosted events?
But basically New England, mostly around the East Coast. I've gone down as far as North and South Carolina, done a lot of shows in Virginia, Pennsylvania, and all of New England.
Okay. Now, you have a pretty huge schedule. Now, the talent that you're booking, is it easier to book in? Are the fans more receptive? Is there more money involved now that the network is online and a lot of the old talent's getting visibility? Is that helping out, or is it just pretty much the same?
No, that's definitely helped. I think a lot of, like you said, a lot of the legends are getting more exposure now, and people are taking it to heart.
Okay. Now tell us verbally. Tell us about some of the events that you got going. A lot of the talent is going to be involved. Give us the rundown.
Well, next week I'm going to be at the New York Comic-Con working with Hurricane Helms. That's going to be pretty exciting. I've also got shows next week in Millersville, Maryland, and Virginia again, working with Matt Hardy. I got some shows coming up with Brodus Clay. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I got the middle of November. Let's see, what else? I got the Rhode Island Comic-Con, November 1st and 2nd.
Oh, okay.
I got Zach Gowen and Gregory Iron coming in for that. I've got the big event going on in New York. And as you mentioned earlier, we've got the 4 shows actually in Quincy, Mass, and the big New England Fan Fest. So pretty busy.
That is fantastic. Now, how did you? Okay, I understand. You met Andre the Giant and everything, but how did you actually get involved and actually getting over these, conventions and everything to book people and bringing the different people in and how did you get started with all that?
Well, I started out, like I said, 9 years ago. I just started doing vending, selling some of the stuff that I'd collected over the years. As time went by, I got involved with some great promotion companies, and they started helping me to book talent. And then as I started working with different guys, the word just spread, and now here I am. So.
That's phenomenal. Like I said, I took a look at your schedule, and it is really fantastic. Now, do you what's like your opinion of? I ask everybody this. What is your opinion of the product today? Are you watching it now? You like what you're seeing? And how do you contrast to what we used to do back in the day?
Well, I gotta say, right now it's kind of getting stale for me, honestly. I grew up in the time of the extreme, the DX era, the Attitude era, the whole, and now it's kind of getting a little stale. Actually, honestly, it doesn't catch me like it used to.
If you were a writer, what would you write? What would you say they had to do in order to bring it back to the glory?
I guess they just need to get a little more. The character development today is not the way it was back then. I know there was Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. They had characters. It was the whole persona that they enveloped, and now everybody's kind of generic.
Right. Now, what was your career before you got into promoting?
Before my actual 9-to-5 job, I'm a bookkeeper, believe it or not. So.
Oh, okay. So you
kind of a boring.
Oh well. No, numbers are never bored as long as they translated the checks. Then you were doing that. You were doing that
you're right.
Before.
As long as you're right, exactly. But this is where the excitement is for me.
Oh, okay.
Working with the different wrestlers and stuff that I used to watch growing up even, and to be working side by side with them there's no excitement like it.
Who are some of the most exciting ones you work with?
Oh gosh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Okay.
Trying to think, Tommy Dreamer. I've worked with some of the, younger guys, Chris Masters, Carlito. Trying to throw them all out. I mean, I've worked with Hurricane before.
Right.
D.H. Smith, Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, Nasty Boys. That was a trip. Those guys are fun.
Now, as a fan for life, who did you actually book that you actually was like dying to meet, and you actually booked them, and you were all marked out when you met them?
The Undertaker.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I can't blame you for that. I mean, that has got to be a wrestling fan's dream to be in the same room. So, yeah, if you're a big Undertaker fan. Yeah, Mo, you got any questions for Renee? Mo, you still there?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah, you.
Well, thank you for giving me a few minutes to ask a couple questions.
You are so
on the radio, as you always do. Hey, Renee, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm great. Glad to have you on the program this evening. Just ignore the chemistry between Oscar and I. We really don't like each other. It's just a job we do with this radio thing. We're probably even worse. We're probably even worse in public. Oscar likes to talk with his mouth full and sing at the dinner table, stuff like that. So I just thought I'd let you know that, since you're booking him to come to an event or something.
Wait.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
You don't want to talk to me like that in front of company? Oh man! Oh, okay. I see where this is going.
Man, I'm just ribbing on you. So what was that like meeting Andre the Giant?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't say anything honest. I was 6, but just looking up at the sky, and he never ended.
Right. I got you. So you said the Undertaker is your all-time favorite?
Yes, absolutely.
What is it about him that everybody loves so very much? What is it about Undertaker that attracts you to his character?
I mean, I guess it's just the ultimate presence and the ultimate. I mean, he's mysterious. I guess it's that. You're just not sure, kind of.
Okay. He is. What is so weird about him to me would be that, somebody that came in WWF in 1990. He's been there. He's been there over 25 years, and he has been one of these people that, unless you see him on TV, you very rarely hear anything about what's going on in his personal life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He's one of these. I mean, you don't hear about Undertaker getting a DUI or being involved in some altercation at a strip club, or you just don't. I mean, I guess unless you're close to him, you really don't know what's going on in his personal life. And I think to me that's the biggest mystery that I find about the guy compared to everybody else. I really wonder how hard it is, or what the secret is for him to be able to maintain that.
I don't know.
Really. I mean, you don't honestly see, like, generally you might see somebody out in public, somebody done snapped a picture of him and his wife out in public or something. you don't see a whole lot of that either.
No,
you don't see a whole lot of pictures of the Undertaker out in public anywhere.
That's true.
Which might suggest to me that he either, when he spends private time with his wife alone, there's always dinner at home or it's dinner at some private place, or but how can you be the Undertaker and Michelle McCool and be out in public and nobody not notice that?
That's true. That's part of that mystery that I'm talking about. It's it's that hidden.
And I think that is you don't even have somebody catching pictures of them at a gym working out or anything like that. Which I do know for a fact because when he used to live in Nashville, used to live about 3 or 4 blocks from it. I do know for a fact that he had a full gym in his basement. So, it wasn't like he went to a public gym and worked out or anything like that. But even still, we're talking about 25 years of working for Vince McMahon, and he's like a ghost unless you see him on TV. Right.
Exactly.
That is incredible. I would like to see him again one day and just ask him, man, how do you stay so below the radar, for 25 years? How do you stay below the radar for that long?
Right. Well, if you find out, let me know.
I am very interested. I am very interested to know that. And besides that, I knew his son Gunner when he was a baby, and this kid is like enormous, and he stays below the radar. That to me is surprising as well. That's very surprising to me.
Right.
Well, I guess that might be the one thing about him that makes people love him is that the whole idea of wanting to know. Wouldn't you like to know what's going on in his private life?
Sure, why not? Why not?
Well, I'm sure
true. It's that whole mystery, and it's just the whole presence when he is on TV, when he is out, from the public eye.
So I guess my biggest question to you then would be, what exactly went through your mind when I don't know if you watched or if you heard the results of this past WrestleMania and you heard that the streak had been broken?
Honestly, I got to tell you, I was watching it, and I absolutely broke down in tears. I just lost it, honestly. That's the truth. I never had quite a reaction to any other match.
Yeah.
Even Shawn Michaels' retirement, all of that. But when the Undertaker streak was broken, I broke down and cried.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit honest with you. Even to this day, to this moment, I'm still upset about it because, regardless of what the outcome was, you can't go back and do it over.
That's right.
It's over and done with it. I don't know. Wow. Even to this day, it still horrifies me to think, the streak is broken. And I would prefer, though, if it had gotten broken, though, that it was someone else did it.
I agree with that. I agree.
I'm not too thrilled with with the Brock Lesnar. I would have thought that if you were gonna do something like that, to me that's almost like passing the torch. Pass it to somebody like a Roman Reigns or give a younger guy a big boost, not somebody that's gonna work once or twice a month or once or twice every other pay-per-view.
That's right. That's true.
I'm being
I
told.
agree with you 100%.
It's ridiculous. I'm being told right now that the upcoming Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The Brock is not even in that pay-per-view.
Oh, I believe that. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's the whole he comes and goes. Just
he's currently not even scheduled to appear at that pay-per-view.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand their logic and their thinking. Especially on the eve of doing the WWE Network. We're basically giving away pay-per-views.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm still destroyed by that. Well, I'm excited. I actually got an email from you today, and I did reply to it. And I'm excited to do these events and get to meet you firsthand, so you can see how us ghetto boys do it. We can be just as crazy as the nasty boys.
All right. Well, we'll see. I'll have to make that comparison.
We can be just don't mind Oscar his manner. He's kind of out there. He's a loony bird.
Please. I doubt either one of you could shock me at this point. I'm pretty much involved.
I'm sure. We're choir boys compared to everybody else you've hung out with. Trust me. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, my pleasure, for sure. I appreciate you guys inviting me to come on.
It's not a problem.
We're going to have you on closer time to the events, too.
What's that? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to have you back closer to the time for us to do events, too.
Oh, that sounds great.
All right.
Sounds great. Let me know.
All right, Renee, get some rest. I know you're on the East Coast. Get some rest. I know you got a lot to do. You're real busy. You done booked half the wrestling community, so I know they all call your phone.
Have a good evening, darling.
You have a good night now.
Okay.
Take care.
Dreamy Mimi on this radio station tonight.
Yes, I am.
What you doing, Dreamy Mimi?
Nothing.
Nothing. You all right?
You put her on the spot.
All right, then. Go feel your man, what's going on.
Yeah, you were having Raw the other night, so did they just throw that one together?
Say what?
You know what?
What did he just say?
He just asked me again, it's Raw, if they just threw that one together. Well, he always likes to ask me.
Yeah. Did they throw Raw together, Dreamy?
Pretty much.
Hey, Mo?
Yes,
I actually wanted to tell you about something I came across last night. I was watching one of the WWE countdowns, and they were talking about the greatest Rumble moments. They actually took a break and actually mentioned those that were in and out of the Rumble pretty fast, and they actually talked about you.
By 2 second in and out?
I think they had you at like 3 or 4 seconds that you were in and out. I think it was like the 97, 96 Rumble, and you were in and then you were out. I think the record's still being held by Santino, and then it was like the Warlord, and then it was like the Bushwhacker Luke, and then you were in like the top 5.
Wow.
Well, had I been holding his jockstrap that night, he'd have been in there longer.
Yeah, man. No. Maybe if you had stroked Pat Patterson a little bit longer, I'd have won the thing. How about that? Stop slacking.
I did not stroke Pat Patterson.
Okay. He had no business sleeping with the kids.
All right.
So what's going on, Dreamy?
The highlights and lowlights of Raw. Give it to us.
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
No, actually me. The highlights and lowlights of Raw.
Dreamy,
I
go ahead.
just read the WWE report.
Oh,
okay. That's giving a report. That's not us telling you your opinion.
Oh, okay. Well,
first of all, my one opinion I have is I was really disappointed in the fact that can you believe they gave us 3 Divas matches?
I saw it.
No.
Yeah, they
3.
did.
How was that? How was
they
that?
was throwing something together, trying to fill space and time. I was like, that really?
Wow.
3? Yeah.
Really?
3.
That had to be horrible, didn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Was it a horrible feeling?
I'm sorry, I'm still here. You know what?
Was they horrible?
You know what? They could have been done without. I think they were just doing it for time savers. You know, they wanted to stretch it out, which is why they only made the Hulkster come out for like maybe 3 minutes, make his announcement, and then leave.
Yeah.
Good God.
I mean, I guess with a lot of the injuries that's going on right now, and the roster being thinned out because of that, I'm pretty sure they had to do that. Plus, with Total Divas being, pretty much shifted into the new season, and like in the 3rd week, they're trying to spotlight those girls. But I don't know. I mean, other than that, what did you think about the John Cena, Dean Ambrose match against Kane and Randy Orton?
Honestly, I think Dean Ambrose was the highlight of the whole Raw.
He was definitely made the star of the show, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. Oscar mentioned this. Okay. What are the major injuries that's affecting the show right now?
Well, you got Danny Bryan still out. You got Roman Reigns out. That's 2 major things right there. You can't spend no time up with Santino. He's out, may not be back. CM Punk seems like he's never going to return. Who else? I mean...
Yeah, oh, my God. They chanted for CM Punk constantly. Being in Chicago,
Yeah.
Oof.
I think Stephanie McMahon pretty much addressed it pretty much in saying that she doesn't understand why they continue to chant for a quitter. She made it clear, and she's got a point. I mean, if he's going to be doing his thing,
And then we heard that they actually threw someone out because did he have on the CM Punk shirt or something like that? Or a sign?
I think it was some kind of sign or something to do with CM Punk.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think that's
really ridiculous.
They are confiscating signs, shirts, anything to do with something that they don't want to be shown. They will throw you out.
Yeah.
They will tell you to put it away first. If you don't put it away, they will throw you out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's terrible.
Did it freak you out to be sitting in front of Uncle Fester?
No, it didn't freak me out. I was, okay.
There was a guy dressed up bull-headed. He was painted all in white and had a lighted light bulb in his mouth. Whenever the Wyatts were going to come out, he wanted to try to go up there and get on television. It was really, really freaky.
Hey, I actually wanted to tell you guys about something that you guys had mentioned. I think it was Mimi that mentioned it. You guys are talking about Karma/Kong coming out for another match. She's going to be going into a match with Lady Tapa, who is a former TNA knockout, but she's actually coming to our show Tuesday night to come and chat with us. Something I've been working on. We've been working on it for quite some time. I've been in contact with her manager for a while, and it's happening. Karma is coming, and boy, howdy, you better watch out. She's coming ready to let us know what's going on.
Oh, man, that's going to be a great show.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So you also this past week you had Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant on your radio program, correct?
What an incredibly nice, one of the sweetest guys I've ever talked to. Everything was brother man, hey, woo mercy daddy,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's him. He was a joy to talk to. He was in so much pain because he had just had a tooth pulled. And, he hung in there, and then he got a surprise call from Lanny Poffo, and those two just had a nice conversation on there, and I'm like, hey, you know what? This is wonderful. I don't even have to say nothing. Let them talk. I'm good.
Wow.
So those people that don't know how bad it is when you get a tooth pulled, Mimi, tell people how bad that is, because you just coincidentally had that done. Is that like pushing a baby out to get done?
You know what? When I went to the doctor's office, I had to go to the hospital, and have lab work done after that. Well, anyway, the nurse, when I was talking to her, she said she's had a tooth pulled and she's had a child, and she said she really thinks that the tooth thing was worse than labor pain.
Wow.
Wow.
Right. And she's like, I don't know if it's because it has something to do with, it's in your head and your face and everything, but OMG. When you're numbed up, you don't feel them actually pulling the tooth, but the after effects, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I've never had a tooth pulled, so I can't imagine.
Hey guys, I wanted to let you know too. Next week we will have he was known as the Blueprint, the DNA of TNA. He is the former TNA talent, Mr. Matt Morgan. He was also part of WWE for a brief stint, but he's coming to Not Your Mama's radio show next Thursday night.
Wow, that is incredible. Matt Morgan. That's incredible.
Wow, that would be great.
That would be.
The A-listers keep adding up, and we're gonna get some of the biggest names coming in 2015. So hold on to your seat, guys.
Positively. Now, the other thing too, fellas, this is Blue, I'll ask you about it on the radio. When we are going to be at these live events, even though they're not on Thursday, is it doable to have a special edition of Not Your Mama's radio show? Because Green Ely is actually going to be at a couple of these events with us. So is it possible to have it if we have it?
Don't you think this is something that could be talked about off the air?
Well, no, because if we're going to do it, then we're going to announce now that we're going to be live on location. I'm excited.
But you work out the details off the air and then make the announcement.
We can do that off the air. That's fine. But as far as answering your question, Oscar, what I will say is, if you guys are at these events and you guys manage to be able to be on the air for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, then that's the length of the show. What had happened when we did this the last time, when at this point you guys were not able, everybody was kind of every which way. I don't want that to happen. And the only way that I will keep the show going is if you guys are on the air with me and talking. Even if we have to do a 45, 30-minute show, that's all we'll do. Because nobody wants to hear me talk. They want to hear you guys talk.
No, what I'm thinking is we are going to have a table set up, and we're actually all the three going to be sitting there together, and we'll do our interviews and actually do a full show. We'll do it on location, like in the lobby at a hotel, in our room, or somewhere, whenever. We all three all together sitting down, with our phones, the headphones, or whatever we're going to have, and we actually do a live, however long broadcast right there on location, but steady going. Because there are going to be a lot of opportunities to do interviews with a lot of the different stars that are there, get some fan reaction. I mean, I think it'll make up to be a very good 2-hour show going on just like that. That's my thinking.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a good idea because, I've seen people, I'll give an example. I was listening to one radio show where one of the hosts actually stayed back and ran the controls, and the other host was at the Cauliflower Alley Club and actually was able to talk to guys like J.J. Dillon, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, some of the Glow Girls. He just put them on the phone, and the other host talked to them, and, they posed questions and they answered. It can be done. So that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. It could be, if worked out properly, we can actually have a really great star-studded show.
Every now and again, I have a decent idea. I keep telling these people that.
Yeah,
but just make sure we got to have you guys on, or there will be no show.
Okay,
you guys
here's
have to be
the
part
deal.
of it.
While we're on that topic,
the network.
While we're on that topic, when we were in Indiana. When we were in Indiana, I called I called to be on the radio, and I sat in the queue for a very long time listening to Michael Jackson music. I did attempt to call.
I didn't actually see your number pop up on my switchboard list. Otherwise, I would have brought you in, because I did see Oscar.
Yeah.
He was on there at the very beginning, and he came in briefly, and then he went back out, and then we lost connection, and I talked for 90 minutes, and
A few minutes after Oscar got off the phone, he told me to call in, and I called in the radio station. And
there might have been a connection error. If that's the case, my bad.
I stayed in the queue. All I heard was the Michael Jackson music, so I thought to myself, well, maybe he's just going to play Michael Jackson music tonight or whatever. I wasn't sure, but I just want to go on record to let you know that I did call in an attempt to be on the radio that night. Now, as far as Oscar goes, you know, he wants to be the captain of the plane, of the ship, and everything else, you know, and not give anybody any leeway to do anything. I'm just gonna tell you, one of these weeks, you know, y'all gonna think I'm on this radio on this cell phone talking from home, and I'm gonna walk into Oscar's living room where he's at, and I'm gonna punch him out. I'm just gonna punch him out. It's gonna happen on live radio. So for all y'all Men on a Mission fans out there listening, keep your ears tuned to Not Your Mama's Radio, cause one of these nights Oscar's gonna get knocked out.
Hello. Mo said knock you out. That's right.
You ain't got much to say now, do you, fat boy?
Let me tell you something, old man.
Oh, wow.
Okay. You know what? You got too many problems. You talking about knocking somebody out, so you better sit your ass down in Tennessee and just shut up. Wherever you at, and shut up.
Yeah, okay. All right.
As far as everything else goes, guys, I think that experience in Indiana, we'll just say we'll chalk it up to say, you know what, you live and learn, and we move on.
Yeah, never happened again.
You can't go by Indiana. We were all in a bad mood. We weren't in our right mind, so we couldn't do things properly. So moving forward, an on-site, on-location radio show is going to be excellent. Can't go by Indiana. Michael Jackson.
No, it's cool. Like I said, lesson learned. We just move on. You know, chalk it up to a mistake on all parts, and we'll move on.
Move on, fat boy. Move on, fat boy. Well, what's going on with the bully initiative? We got time for that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna let Mimi tell you all about a meeting. Mimi, tell him about the meeting today.
He asked you.
And I asked you. You were there. Hello. You got a better handle on what was said and everything like that. So, Dad, she put together.
You gonna let him talk to you like that, Mimi? Mimi, you gonna let him talk to you like that?
No, I'm paying attention to him.
She put together one hell of a presentation. That's why I want her to tell you about it. She put together a hell of a presentation. It went over really well. So how did that go? I mean, tell them some of the things you put in the presentation and how was it received?
Everything went really, really well. It was well received. The chief had a lot of positive things to say. He is already basically like, okay, y'all on board. And so now we're just waiting on the follow-up meetings and stuff like that to get everything set up. He even he was interested in talking to me about another program, which will be mentoring teen girls. So just a lot of positive things came out of that meeting today.
Good. And then it branched off because our pastor, Curtis Whitaker, you know, he was also telling us the other resources of the people that we have to go to, and he's in the process now of setting up meetings with the woman at the police department that actually knows where the money is, that actually writes the grants. And then he's also going to put us together with some people out in Evansville, Indiana. Now, this is key because he said that in Evansville, Indiana, they have everybody on board with their anti-bullying program, and the money for that program is raining out the sky. What's missing from that component are people like ourselves that are willing to do the grunt work, go into the schools, and actually make the programs happen. So, that being said, what I'm saying is the program is really going to blow up. It's really going to blow out. It's moving in a real positive direction. We get a lot of high-powered people behind us in Indiana, and this is exactly the kind of push that we needed.
Well, good. I guess men on a mission are doing things, huh?
Definitely.
And the mission continues.
Right.
And the mission continues.
I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, it was a lot of promises and a lot of opportunity there with the things that we talked about today. And when you get a chance, Mo, you got to check out their presentation. I
already checked it. I already checked it out this afternoon. You did a wonderful job. When you told me it was well received, it wasn't surprising, considering I could tell you put time and effort into the work. So I applaud your effort. While I'm on that applauding efforts, I also want to tip my hat to Felix and Austin for a spectacular job you guys are doing with not only Pipe Bomb Radio, but the job you guys are doing for us at Not Your Mama's Radio. I know at times, we could be at odds with each other, but that's what makes things work. People don't always have to agree on everything. As long as they can meet in the middle, come to a common ground, and make things work. That's what built America. We don't always agree. The races don't always get along, but when push comes to shove and it's time to get our hands dirty, we all get down and get them dirty together. So that's right. What I like about this experience here. And I just want to tell you I appreciate it.
Well, we're happy to help, We're very happy to help. We definitely want to see you guys go far, and I can tell you personally from Austin, he has always gotten a kick out of your guys' bantering back and forth. He says that's, besides, and add on the guests that come on, he says that's definitely one of the best parts of the show. He says the bantering, people get a kick out of it. He says he really enjoys it. He says he enjoys Mimi's report. You guys all together, well-oiled machine that's definitely on the rise.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, hey, it's just a thing where, I think that wrestling's a hot topic. I think our background is, it really lends a lot to the product. I think that Mimi, as a wrestling fan, and that really pays attention to the product, she gives her honest opinion. She never worked for Vince. She don't got to be scared of Vince. She don't worry about being politically correct. But at the same time, she don't get ghetto ignorant like a lot of other people that would be on a show or anything like that. Very articulate, know what she's talking about. And I'm not saying it because she's my wife. I'm saying that if I was a fan and I was listening to it, this would be my take on it. Otherwise, I would have her in a non-participant role in the show. But, she can tell me she's the best part. She got fans out there, so... we try to include her in as much as possible. I'm just back to, she does a lot better. I just would like to hear more from her. She just still kind of shy and reserved, but she's coming into her own. But I like to hear more from you. Any female on the show, I like to hear from. Because a female,
she likes to sit back and listen to the banter between you guys too. We both just sit back and laugh because you two just be going at it.
Right.
You guys are like an old married couple.
Oh my Jesus! That'll never happen. I would not be that crazy. I would not be somebody crazy enough to marry him. Anyway, no pun intended.
Really?
No pun intended.
Here's what you seem to be forgetting. We got married back in 1993 when we pulled up to that old little building called Titan Tower. We got married that day in the boardroom, sweetie. We are bonded for life.
Yeah, I separated with you. I separated with you in '95, and I ain't looked back since then.
See, that's when science fiction becomes science fact. Because you a damn lie.
No, here's the problem. Here's what the problem is. Everybody on the planet knows that black people have a problem with the word divorce. And so you might get a man and a woman that get married and stay married 50 years but only live together 4 years.
That's true.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
That's so true.
Since you want to put it that way, let me tell you like this, big boy. Consider me your stalker, because I ain't going nowhere.
That's okay. As long as you paying child support, I'm all right.
Yeah.
You're getting hard tonight, Mo.
Oh, my Jesus. Man, hey, what do you guys think about this, man? I had a big debate about this on Facebook. WWE is asking extras, where they were paying them $250 a night, to appear on TV. They're only paying $100 a night now. What do you think about that?
The extras ought to be paying them for the privilege to be on TV. I don't feel sorry for them.
Really?
That's a good point.
You agree with that, Felix?
Well, you know what, though? Because the opportunities is more out there. Television, if you're seen on television, you're seen over in over 170 countries, all over the United States, and you're getting that free publicity. It's almost free, would you say, but you also get $100 on top of that. And you know what? I would consider it a privilege.
Yeah.
And that's just me. And I'm not a wrestler, and I never claimed to be, but hearing stories of what it was like back then, these guys would have to take an ass whooping and not get paid very well, but get an ass whooping every night.
Right.
Yeah.
And
when you're a talent, you lend value to the product. When you're not a talent and they put you on television, the product lends value to you. So they ought to be grateful for even having what can come from that? Only something good can come from that. The right person see you on TV, that springboards into other things. So they need to look at it from a realistic perspective.
I'll give you an example, Mo. You know what?
Okay.
Look at Cameron, Ariane, whatever you want to call her. Cameron? Is it? Yeah, Cameron. Anyways, they're the Funkadactyl, the one that can't wrestle. Thinks she can sing.
Right.
Talk about girl guy. She sit there and told Steve Austin on Tough Enough that she was going to be on WWE no matter what. Well, the only reason they got her was to go out there and dance and look good and everything for Brodus. And once that happened, if you guys watch Total Divas, and I think maybe Oscar and Mimi probably watch it. I'm not sure if you do, Mo. She gets all freaked out because they want to make her a valet because she can't wrestle. She sucks. I mean, sorry, she just does not know how to wrestle. She goes down to NXT and comes back, and they put her right back on TV. Now, personally, if she's not ready to be put on TV, why would they pull her out so soon? What would you guys think? Because at this point, the Funkadactyl, Brodus could have done just fine with just Naomi. Naomi could dance. That girl can do just about anything she sets her mind to. Very, very talented young lady.
Well, see,
but I just don't see. I think I see Cameron using this as a stepping stone to go into a music/acting career, and then she's done. Maybe even Playboy. Who the hell knows?
One thing she don't realize that she's gonna learn that's gonna come back to bite her in the ass is the fact that bad attitude you got. Believe me, you might think it's working for you now, but they are watching that, and they are going to be. You're not gonna teach them nothing at the end. At the end of the day, the WWE is going to put you in your place. So like my grandma keeps saying, like old people say, baby, keep living.
Okay.
Wow.
And then with the bad attitude, she also turn other people off from her. Ain't nobody don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you're hurting people.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's an old saying in Hollywood, in the entertainment business, you could be as talented as you can be. You could be the biggest talent in the planet. But if nobody wants to work with you, you are going nowhere.
Right.
Well, that's what they were saying, too, about Ryback, that big old muscle-bound freak. that was hurting people.
Yeah.
He was all muscle, no wrestling ability, whatever. He was, as JBL would call it, have a $1,000 body but 10-cent mind or something. I don't know.
Yeah. $1 million body and 10-cent brain.
There you go. That's the way you call it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well,
we started a whole new conversation here.
I was just wondering what y'all's thoughts were on it, because it was a big topic of discussion on Facebook today. That came out that WWE, part of their budget cuts, they were cutting the money for the extras as well. So
that's the first place they should have started cutting. They should have started cutting there before they started releasing the good talent.
Well, I don't see the thing there though is that's not something that's concrete though. That's not a cut that you can make that's concrete. That's because it just depends on the writing that determines how much money you end up spending on extras. That's not something that's written into the budget. But when you look at somebody that's got a $150,000 a year contract and they got 4 years left on that contract and you're not really doing anything with them, you're thinking, well, in the long run, I'm going to save $600,000, by letting this person go. You know what I mean?
Hey, Oscar and Mo, I did almost forget. I'm thankful I remembered last minute. I do also have a message for you from one of your old buddies from way back when. I'm trying to reel him in for the show. If we can do it, I might need your help to kind of butter him up a little bit and bring him in. Marty Jannetty.
Okay.
I talked to Marty. He said he loves you guys and he hopes to kind of come on sometime soon in the future and just talk about old times. And he said, tell my boys I love them and see you guys real soon.
He ever get his ankle fixed, man? Do you know if he ever got his ankle fixed, Felix?
I don't know. Actually, I don't. He comes on from time to time and goes off on his little tangents that he has, little crazy talks that he has in the middle of the night. God knows what he's talking about. I don't think he even knows.
Right.
But, he hasn't really talked about it too much. He's a
Have you seen his ankles?
To watch him.
Yeah.
What's that?
Have you seen his ankles?
No, I have not. I've heard they're in really, really bad shape. Yeah,
they're pretty much turned in. He's like, his foot is walking on the side of his foot, on the inside of his foot.
Mhm.
Yeah, his ankles are bad, man. Last time I spoke with him at Heroes and Legends, he was trying to get health insurance so he can get his ankles fixed. With that new Obamacare thing,
It's killing everybody.
Yeah, but Fred Otten wouldn't agree with you on that one.
Oh, well,
it's killing a lot of people. A lot of people is helping.
True.
I
wanted to give you guys.
I think it's just.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just saying. I think it's just I think it's really just a case by case situation, I guess, because I hear a lot of people, that it's killing them as far as their regular insurance costs went up, and then other people that couldn't get it initially now can get it. Before, if you had any pre-existing conditions, you couldn't get no health insurance.
But then the problem, though, is that it's still the word affordable should not be in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's still not cost effective for a lot of people. But then it's mandatory, so that sucks too.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But also wanted to give you a heads up too that you also getting some shout outs too from Pat Tanaka, who's looking to come to the show sometime in the future. He's another one that's looking to come to Not Your Mama's Radio in the near future.
Oh my God.
Pat Tanaka don't want to come here.
Man.
Pat Tanaka don't want to come here.
I'd love to talk about how his eyebrows got shaved that night by Fuji in Florida.
No, we don't want to talk about how his eyebrows got shaved. Shut up. We don't know. Pat, I love you, but you got one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in the history of my life, and I'm sure you don't want that story getting out. I will never come home late at an equipment end ever again. Sometimes your eyes can see things. You can see things that you can't unsee. And I'm sorry, Dr. Doctor is part of something that is extra in my brain forever, and I have nightmares about it. I have nightmares that what I saw with Dr. Doctor was me.
Oh, my.
Well,
just letting you guys know, these guys are just sending you guys some love, and who knows, maybe we'll get them on. I'm trying to get Marty for sure.
Let's get
Pat,
Wopo.
I'll work on him, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I take it. Yeah, you come at your own peril, Pat, because I'm telling the story.
Come at your own risk, huh?
Come at your own risk.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Well,
Definitely a lot of fun with these guys. Definitely get some good stories coming if we can get them on.
Yeah. It's gonna be. Oh Lord.
Mimi, make sure you bring the popcorn.
Right.
A lot of popcorn. Especially when we get
Just
Pat
sit back and listen
on.
to these stories.
Oh my Jesus.
Oh gee. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think I just made your guys' night.
Yeah. No, you did. Yeah. You dredged it up. That goes hand in hand with when I was young seeing The Exorcist and the other horror movie that I can't get out of. You wake up in the middle of the night sweating, going.
And judging by Mo's reaction, I'm pretty sure it's that bad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if we can. I don't even know if we can be rated for what could come out of that conversation.
Oh my God!
Anything goes. It's not your mama's radio show. That's what you guys called it. That's parental discretion is advised, but it's not encouraged.
Oh my God! Oh man! Just tell your mama don't eat it.
This ain't PG. This is rated TV 14.
Oh my Jesus!
I'll give you a past reaction to that verse. You shut up, Oscar. That don't happen. That never happened. That doesn't happen like that. No.
Oh my God!
Wow,
we
need to talk.
We need to talk on this radio program.
Who? Chris Davis?
Tatanka.
You know, I'm working on him too. I've sent out feelers to him, and we'll see how we can get him. Maybe you guys can kind of get in touch with him too and see what we can do.
I wish I could get Mike Kyoto on the radio.
You know, if he wasn't contracted to WWE, that would work. You know, a lot of these guys, they won't, because they're so contracted to the company. It's harder for us to reel them in. They have to get okay from the company.
Mike Kyoto is the longest running referees in WWE. One of the longest running referees. That man didn't see it all.
What about Dave Hebner? Or Earl Hebner, I'm sorry.
Yeah, both of them.
Earl Hebner.
But Mike has done it all,
brothers.
Too. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. You know what? I think you guys should bring Bret back. Bring Bret Hart back on the show.
Well, we working on getting over to you, so yeah, definitely, yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely a lot of guests, a lot of possible guests to come on the show, no doubt.
Well, I'll send Brett a message.
2 hours of radio is up again, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank our guest, international manager and connoisseur of strip clubs around the world, Sonny Onoo. Thank you.
Don't forget creator of selfie.
Fan for life.
Yes, the innovator of selfies.
The innovator
of selfies. The man who made up selfies. Dreamy meeting with the WWE Report. Thank you, darling. Sir Mo, the master. Thank you, young man. Felix, the greatest producer in radio. Thank you. I am Oscar C.O. Somebody will be back here next Thursday. Good night.
Fat boy, be quiet.
Bye, guys. Bye, Mimi.
Love you, Mo.
Love you, Mimi. Felix.
Yes.
Email me Sonny Onoo's phone number, please.
I will do that.
Thank you, sir. Fat boy, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.